Hello, guys. Welcome to this episode. It's your go-to code guy Wisdom, and in this episode, we're going to continue talking about strings. Yeah, it's a long one, and then under strings, in the last episode, we've been talking about how to escape things in strings, like using a method. Okay, the backlash method, and we've been able to create new lines, and we've been able to also escape quotes, that is, I'm sorry, apostrophes, that is using the escape character to escape or to make our code, single quotes, appear in a program. So in this episode, what if we wanted to make our escape method appear, that is the backlash itself? What if we wanted to make the backlash itself appear? That is this one. If we wanted to see something like this pop up on our screen, how do we go about it? That's what we'll be looking at in this episode. This is just to remind us, this is the interpreter interface, and we are making use of PyDroid 3. And then we have a lot of videos about Python programming language, and we've been talking about strings. So if you're watching through TikTok, I've made a collection, that's a catalog of it. So for you to get a better understanding of what we've been doing, I advise you to check it out. And then if you're watching from YouTube, I've been able to make a playlist. So you go and head over to the playlist section on my profile, right? And then you'll see a playlist of the string I have been able to make. Okay, so let's say we wanted to write out, because one of the reasons why we use a backlash, I think, is when we are trying to head over to a link on a search engine like Google, okay, or maybe an address in the computer, an address of a file or a folder. What if we wanted to get that, wanted our program to actually print out an address like that, just a written address, right, of a file named maybe file dot a Python file named file.py. So if you wanted to go about that, simple print, you open parentheses, you use your quote because we are dealing with a string. Then we say, you know how this works. You see something like, whenever you want to open an address, you see something like C, then you see a colon, right? Then you see the backlash, right? If I'm not mistaken. So to get that, we use double of it instead. Okay, backlash users, maybe it's just in users, use backlash again, and then file dot py. You close your quotes and close your parentheses. Okay, when we print this out, you will see something you're familiar with. It's something that it's known as an address. For some of us that don't know, it's known as an address of a file or a folder. Okay, so this is how computers addresses things. Okay, so in order, what we've been able to do here is to make sure that our backlash appears, because our backlash is actually a method in Python programming language. So for it to appear, for it to pop up on a screen, we wanted to make use of it. We have to always use like double of it. Okay, so that's to say our C colon, a single backlash is supposed to always appear, but since we are dealing with a backlash in this sense, and this is a method in string in Python programming language, so we have to make it appear twice for it to actually appear. I'm going to print this out, and then maybe you understand better. So you remember how we print things out, okay? We use the enter button. On our mobile devices, just beneath the keyboard, there's a curly arrow button there. So when you hit on this, you see, does this look familiar? So C colon, we have just one backlash, okay, users, one backlash, file.py, okay. This is an address, this is a computer address. This is a way computers address things, in our computer system. Okay, so for us to get a backlash that we usually use as a method in Python programming language for us to actually get it out, for us to make use of it, for us to make it come out as a text in our program. We have to go, we have to do that by using two, like making it two, like using the backlash twice in a program. That is how we've been able to make this, print this out. This is a bit technical. Okay, maybe I'm not using the right choice of words, but on studying this, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, this is something that is very, very common. What I've been able to print out here in this episode is something that is very, very common. But I advise you to go over this episode more than once for you to get a hold of what I'm trying to say here. If my explanation is not quite sound for you. Okay, so that's it about this episode. It was a quick one, but like I said in the last episode, this is something that you have to keep on practicing for it to actually stick, right? So that's it. I don't think I've missed out anything, but if I have, I'll always be in the comment section or the description. Bye for now, guys.